Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak. This is week 1 of Ramadan. Before we get into the week 1 vlog, I'm going to give a little bit of a Ramadan 101 in case you don't know what Ramadan is. Ramadan is the holy month of fasting that the world's 2 billion Muslims observe. Ramadan is the holiest period of the entire year for Muslims around the world. During this month, Muslims abstain from eating and drinking during the daylight hours for 30 consecutive days. Islam has a lunar calendar and Ramadan is the 9th month in that calendar. Because it's a lunar calendar, Ramadan moves up 10 days every single year. This year in 2025, Ramadan began the evening of February 28th and is expected to run through March 29th. Some of the key terms that you're going to need to know in order to understand this vlog are suhoor and iftar. Suhoor is the morning meal that Muslims eat before they start their fast. Suhoor is eaten before Fajr prayer time, and Fajr prayer time is before sunrise. So Muslims stop eating and drinking for the day before sunrise. The second term to know is iftar. Iftar is the meal that breaks the fast. Iftar occurs at the Maghrib prayer time. There are 5 daily prayers in Islam. Maghrib is the 4th prayer of those 5 prayers, and Maghrib prayer time is at sunset time. So from before sunrise until just after sunset every single day, Muslims are fasting all around the world. I live in San Francisco. Here in San Francisco, the fasts are about 12.5 hours per day. I'm going to take you through week 1 of fasting in the vlog, so let's go ahead and start with day 1. So it is about 9 o'clock on the first day of fasting during Ramadan 2025. I just got done cleaning up my kitchen after the iftar meal, and I had this desire to listen to this song. And in case there's any Bollywood aficionados that are watching this, it was from the 90s film Dil To Pagal Hai, and it was the song Pyar Kar. And I started listening to it and singing along to it. And then I was instantly taken back to a string of memories from my life from that period of time. And I had a full-on emotional release. Like, I sobbed. You can probably still see it in my eyes that I just finished crying. And what I want to share about that is this was the first day of fasting. And it kicked off a sequence of events that led to an emotional release for me. And from a somatics perspective, when you have releases like that, emotional releases, when emotions like that leave and exit your body, that's when your nervous system regulates. And that's essentially you transmuting trauma. My mind is actually really blown right now. And after that good sob, I feel so much better. I didn't even know anything was weighing on me. But somehow, during the fast today, that thing came unearthed and it came out this evening. I took a walk earlier today and I was just thinking about how I just feel more well-equipped this Ramadan. I took Ramadan 2024, so Ramadan last year, super seriously, and I kept like 27 of the 30 fasts. I think I went to all but one of the Jummahs, so I attended 3 out of 4 of the Jummah prayers. And I definitely got my seher, suhoor, and iftar routines down. So this year, I really feel I'm building upon all of like the foundational things that I did really well last year. So I just feel more advanced this year. And I honestly feel like that's where the emotional release came from. It came right to the surface because I snapped right back into Ramadan and that mode of fasting and all of that. Given that this is only the end of the first day, I am really curious to see where I'm at by the end of this month. But I very much believe in being present, and I'm going to take it one day at a time. All right, Ramadan Mubarak. Good night. Hi, good morning. It is day 2 of Ramadan. I was hoping to wake up around 4:20 this morning, but my body naturally woke me up just before 2 a.m. I tried to go back to sleep, was unsuccessful, so now we're at 2:40 a.m. and I am just going to give in and have my suhoor early today. So my plan is to go ahead and have my suhoor and then stay up until Fajr prayer, which is at 5:27 p.m. Pacific time today here in San Francisco for me. And then I guess I'm gonna have to go back to sleep again, Thankfully, it is Sunday, so I have some flexibility within my day to sleep during the day. That was definitely not something that I was counting on, my sleep getting disrupted like that. I was hoping to just wake up at around 4:30, have my suhoor, pray fajr, and then stay up for like the rest of the morning. But there's no way that I'm going to be able to do that because I'm just running on a few hours of sleep at this point. All right, y'all, this is my suhoor. I have a piece of quiche, which I made last night. I have a piece of banana bread, which I also made last night. The banana bread has a little bit of maple syrup, some dark chocolate syrup. I have some strawberries here. I added some whipped cream and dark chocolate syrup just so I could zhuzh up my suhoor a little bit. I also made an iced latte for the first time at home. I have a full liter of water here, which I've already drank about a third of. I'm also gonna have 2 dates and a teaspoon of olive oil. I have Palestinian olive oil here because the dates in the Palestinian olive oil help kind of keep moving from a digestion perspective. So yeah, this is my suhoor on day 2. Hello, it is the end of day 2. I am preparing for my iftar, and I'm sorry if it is loud. I have my Wonder Oven going. I am preparing some sweet potatoes. I like to eat sweet potatoes at dinner time when I am fasting. It helps keep my digestive tract moving. Okay, anyway, so I'm preparing for iftar. So what I'm going to do is actually prepare some ruafsa with some almond milk. So I thought I would show you how I make that drink. Okay, first of all, you're gonna take 2 teaspoons of ruafsa. As you can see, it's this really syrupy liquid. So that's 1. So you can see what it looks like. That's what it looks like in the glass. I'm gonna leave a spoon in there. And I'm gonna take some almond milk and add in the almond milk. And that's good enough. That's enough almond milk. Obviously, I need some help mixing all of this up. So I am gonna use this to mix the drink. I tried to use a spoon to mix this yesterday and it was such a mistake. The drink was really delicious though. I really do recommend it. Okay, so I think that's as good as we're gonna go. It's still pretty syrupy at the bottom, but it is pretty pink, which is what we want. I'm gonna add some ice to it as well. I got this pistachio butter at the halal store when I was shopping for Ramadan, and I'm gonna have it with these dates to open my fast and with my ruafsa almond milk drink. All right, just wanted to show you what I'm eating for dinner. I'm eating a chicken salan, which is a Pakistani type curry. I warmed a paratha, which fell apart as I was frying it up, which is fine. You have to break it up into pieces to eat it anyway. And I've got some pickled onion. But this is my dinner for day 2 of Ramadan. Hi, good morning. It is day 3 of Ramadan. It is just after 4:30 a.m. here Pacific time. Thankfully, I got about 6 hours of sleep in and I woke up at about 4:30. I didn't wake up in the middle of the night at like 1:30 as I did yesterday morning. In terms of how I'm feeling good this morning. At the end of day 2, I was super lethargic, and towards the end of the day as I got to iftar time, my mind just mentally slowed down a lot. There was some content creation I wanted to do, there was some writing I wanted to do, and I had enough time to theoretically get it done, but my mind just wanted to rest. So in terms of the effects of the fasting and my body and mind getting used to it, I was definitely feeling those initial effects at the end of day 2 yesterday. I've taken a probiotic this morning. I'm drinking my water. Once I hit the 30-minute threshold with the probiotic, I am going to go ahead and have my suhoor. The cutoff time for suhoor today is 5:27 a.m. and that's when Fajr prayer is going to be. All right, so this is the meal that we're working with for suhoor today. I've got a slice of quiche, a slice of banana bread with pistachio butter and maple syrup, 1 date, half of a sweet potato. I've been incorporating a lot of sweet potatoes in my diet to add fiber, and then also 1 strawberry. And I've got an oat milk latte. I'm going to have 1 spoon of olive oil. I have 1 spoon with suhoor, with iftar, and then drink a lot of water. Hello again. It is a little after 7:30 a.m. on day 3 of Ramadan. I'm about to go head out for a walk. One of my goals this Ramadan is to ensure that I get as close to 10,000 steps per day and to keep up my physical activity. So every morning before I get into the meat of the day, whether I have to work or whatever I have to do, I try to get that walk in. So let's go. Hello, I am in Golden Gate Park, and this is where I will walk for about the next hour. Okay, we are about an hour out from iftar. I finished the last of my chicken salad last night, so that means I need to cook dinner tonight. So I'm gonna make kebab hindi tonight, which is a Levantine dish. Okay, it is after iftar. I've already opened my fast with dates and a drink. The drink is ruhsa and almond milk, just to be clear. And this is the kebab hindi. It's the meat is still raw. You need to bake it. The oven's warming up right now. But once it gets to 400 degrees, I'm gonna pop this in for about 35 minutes. Then I'm gonna go pray Maghrib prayer, and hopefully by the time that I am done, oh, there we go, then this is gonna be ready. Okay, I kind of mixed it around. I just pulled this out of the oven. This is how the kebab hindi turned out. It looks amazing. Okay, I've obviously already eaten a lot of the dinner, but it is so good. I'm so glad that I made this. Assalamu alaikum. It is day 5 of Ramadan. It's just after 1 p.m. today, and I am actually not fasting today. I had another night of intermittent sleep. I woke up a little before 2 o'clock, and then I woke up again a little after 3 o'clock. And I had a big meeting this morning that I needed to be well rested for. So once I woke up the second time and just knew it was going to be a rough night and I wasn't going to get enough sleep, I went ahead and turned off my alarm and decided that I wouldn't fast today, that I would get enough sleep, be energetic in my meeting this morning. And I plan to resume fasting tomorrow on day 6. So I definitely wanted to check in on this, because this is one of the realities of being a Muslim that lives in the West. In countries with a large Muslim population or countries that are Muslim majority, Ramadan and this fasting is part of the culture. There's accommodations that are made at work, whether that's meetings, meeting times. And also, in case you're wondering, if a Muslim misses a fast during Ramadan, then they are encouraged to make it up as soon as possible after Ramadan closes. So this fast will carry over for me to complete once March ends. Hello, it is Ramadan day 6. It is about 5:30. We've got about 40 minutes to go until iftar. And this is the first day that I am attending an iftar in congregation with other people. So it's a communal iftar. I'm heading down to the Tenderloin for it. Come along with me. What's that first? Ramadan Mubarak. Hello, it's day 8 of Ramadan. I am about to head out to a iftar in Palo Alto with my friend Bilal. I'm actually not fasting today. People who are menstruating do not need to fast, because people who are menstruating don't need to do the 5 daily prayers. So we should normalize talking about menstruation. It should be out there in the open. Happens to half of the population. But I am partaking in this iftar and I'm very much looking forward to it. Just wanted to check in. I am actually going to leave my camera at home. This is the last entry for the first week of Ramadan. So next up are my takeaways from this first week of fasting. So that is it for week 1 of the vlog of Ramadan. I summarized some of my thoughts of this experience of the first week of fasting. In full disclosure, the day that I am recording this is actually the 11th day of Ramadan. We are already through 1/3 of the holy month. One thing that I wanted to note for the vlog is I really focused on recording kind of my everyday routine so you could see how a Muslim in the West observes Ramadan. I didn't record when I prayed. I didn't record when I read and recited the Quran. Observing the 5 daily prayers and reading and reciting the Holy Quran, which is the holy book of Islam, are essential components of observing Ramadan for Muslims. So I wanted to just call out that those were parts of my days. Those just weren't parts that I filmed for the vlog. The purpose of Ramadan is spiritual purification. So outside of just abstaining from food and drink, the practices that we do, what we read, praying, all of that spiritual reflection is really important and is a really important part of that spiritual purification process. The second takeaway that I had is related to the spiritual purification process. So for me, I talked in the vlog at different moments about the emotional releases that I was experiencing as byproducts of my fasting, and that was really real. I do not remember having emotional releases like that last Ramadan. So to me, for week 1 of the vlog, that is a very, very significant takeaway that I wanted to share with you all. The third thing is, and this is kind of personal, is within my community, within the folks that are connected to my family, mostly back in Texas, there were a lot of deaths that occurred during the first week of Ramadan. A lot of people that my family knew passed away. And I actually lost a first cousin that first week of Ramadan as well. He and I weren't that close, and he was fairly young. He was only 50 years old. But I thought it was significant. Like, in terms of people that my family knew, about like 5 to 6 people passed away in about that first week. I would love to know for other Muslims that are watching this if anyone had a similar experience or heard of any deaths that might have shocked them that first week of Ramadan. One thing that stood out to me while I edited this week's vlog and put all of the video together was how normal and energetic I seemed throughout the vlog. Because the reality is in a lot of those snippets, I remember being sleep deprived, hungry, thirsty, tired, fatigued, having a headache, but it was just really surprising to me how normal everything seemed. As I mentioned in that final video of the vlog, I did get my period towards the tail end of week 1, and I'm just wrapping that up now, so I plan to start fasting tomorrow and resuming on day 12 of Ramadan, and that is where the week 2 vlog will pick up. If you'd like more information on Ramadan, I wrote a Ramadan 101, which I will link in the description of this video. If you go to my YouTube channel, I also recorded a Ramadan 101, which is available on the channel. I'll also link that video in the description. There are more weekly vlogs coming of Ramadan, so be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'm actually filming daily vlogs for YouTube Shorts. So you'll get to follow along day to day there as well, in addition to the weekly vlog. And finally, if you're interested in learning more about a Muslim perspective on US policy and politics, you should subscribe to my Substack, which is linked in the video description below. All right, Ramadan Mubarak, everyone, and I will see you next week for week 2.